Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode we will be taking a look at the Camp Knife by Ontario Knife Company, so stay tuned. I bought this knife because I was feeling kind of nostalgic, and I saw this in a catalog and I just couldn't pass it up at all. Although I didn't buy it from the place that had the catalog. I went online on Amazon and found it for the unbelievable low price of about $38 as of this video. I love it when knives come in paper. So check this out. This is a classic, an absolute classic. This is known by many things. Ontario right now calls it their camp knife. It's also referred to as the GI. Military, Navy sometimes calls it stuff, Army, Marines. There's many names. They even call it a demo knife. As a matter of fact, if you just Google demo knife, you're going to see a lot of these. And they've been around for, I don't know, but I've seen things online as early as 1945. So this design has been around for a long time. It's been manufactured by Case, Imperial, Colonial, Ulster. Camillus is probably the most famous one that had made this. Now, it's not Camillus that's around today. It's the Camillus that was around back years ago when they made good knives in the USA. Which, by the way, this is made in the USA. So let's take a close look at this. As you can see, has it's all stainless steel, 420 stainless steel. As a matter of fact, let me bring up my specs really quick. I'm really not too prepared. I've been working on my motorcycle all weekend, and I had the carburetor all torn apart, and it's running better. At least it can idle without cutting out now, but it still needs a lot of work, and I'm not a real mechanic. Anyway, 420 HC stainless steel. The blade, which I'll go ahead and pull out here, and you better have nails of steel because this comes extremely stiff. But there's your classic spear point. Did I turn on my light? I didn't. Like I said, I'm really not prepared. It's a classic spear point that you find on a lot of multi-tools. Sort of looks like your Victorinox or Swiss Army type of knife. Now, I'm a little disappointed. I'm not sure if you could see has a tiny little chip right there. I'll be able to work that out with no problem, but you could see quality isn't quite all there. But, you know, let's see, here's the Ontario name, made in the USA. And it was manufactured in 2011. So the blade is 3 1/4 inches long, and overall close length, which is where you're carrying it normally, is 3.625 inches. And I couldn't find any weight, but I went ahead and put it on my postal scale, and it comes out to be about 4 ounces. You also get this little bell or lanyard, shackle, whatever you want to call it. Again, classic old design. I was feeling nostalgic. As soon as I saw this knife in the catalog, I fell in love with it. I remember some people on the ship, a couple of ships I've been on, especially like the earlier ships that I was on in my career, had some of these. So anyway, let's go ahead and pull out what you get. And again, you need it needs to be lubricated basically when you get it. It's very stiff. I'd rather it be stiff and then be too loose, because you can't do any kind of adjustments with this. It's all riveted together, so you know it'll work out loose. You can see everything is slip joint back here, including the knife, so nothing locks. So what you're looking at is a can opener, and in case you didn't know, it says on it can opener. I haven't tried it. I have read online that it does work okay, nothing fabulous. Now the quality of the metalwork here, everything is very rough. You know, the edges, you know, it's not extremely high quality. And I'm a little disappointed. For $38, I was hoping for just a little bit better. But, you know, this is a utility knife that was, you know, it's a copy of something that was, you know, mass produced for the military. So let's see, what do we get on the other side? I want to get these out of here without cutting myself. And again, everything is extremely stiff. So here you have a bottle lifter and a screwdriver, or a bottle opener. They always call it a bottle lifter for some stupid reason. So let me go ahead and flip that out there so we can pull out the last thing, which is a leather puncher awl. Oh my god. You know, I'm going to cut myself to death with this thing. Let me see if I can get it out with this nail. There we go. Woo. Okay, I almost had it. And I think that nail's given out now, so you might not get to see the awl. Alright, there we go. So there's the awl. So there's a demonstration of how tough it is when you first get it. Now actually, this feels a little bit sharp too. So you could punch leather with that. Let me push this a little forward so you can see all the tools at once. You all say, watch, he's gonna friggin' cut himself. So there we go. There is all the tools. Ain't that cool? This just looks old-fashioned. I really like it. Probably not gonna be a collector's item. You know, I think the Camillus probably have a little more collectability than the Ontario, which is who manufactures it now. So anyway, let's go ahead and do a paper cut test. Again, I don't have high expectations for this. I'm gonna have to work on this a little bit, but it does not feel extremely sharp. Well, it is cutting paper, but barely. It's almost tearing. You know, you can see it's very rough. So it's marginally sharp, and again, it has a little chip out of it, and I'm not very prepared today, so I apologize one more time. Alright, so do I recommend it? Well, $38, it's hard to recommend it unless you're just feeling nostalgic like me. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10, and I'm only going to recommend it to folks who just want something like this, you know, new. If you're looking for a style like this new, then you really don't have a choice. Well, if you want to get one made in the US. Now, you can probably get one that actually is finished a little bit better, believe it or not, made in China. And you could get it for $7, and it's made by a company called Marbles. So, you know, but I wanted to get something made in the USA, and not only because of me, but I know a lot of folks out there on YouTube get a little bit hurt when they go, oh, there's Fred with another Chinese knife. So there you go. One last point before we wrap things up. The tools, when you fold them in, do sort of rub against each other. You could see on the blade there that up down right there, and that's it from, you know, closing in and rubbing against stuff. You can see how tight everything is there. And I'll tell you what, let me close this blade so you can see that things are sort of touching each other. So, you know, it is what it is. It's definitely not something that you just sort of sit on a shelf. It's a utility knife. It's meant to be used, especially this one. Now, if you come across a very old one, you know, from, you know, the 40s and 50s, or even the 70s, the ones made by Camillus later on, or the case, you know, those have some collectability, but this really doesn't. But again, I was just feeling nostalgic, and that's I recommend it for those folks. But again, 6 out of 10. Alright, thank you very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, subscriber, and you, and I hope you have a great evening. Take care.